sinkhole leaves a section of Philadelphia without water tonight.
The U.S. Senate sends a summons to the White House. The impeachment trial plans are set.
And former Eagles coach Ray Rhodes could soon be following in the footsteps of Vince Lombardi. The Fox 10 o'clock news starts now.
Good evening, everyone. A great night for the crackling of a fireplace.
After a bad day of cracking fenders, and that's first on Fox tonight, many of us spent at least part of this day slip-sliding all over the place. Tonight, the remnants of our Friday storm are still causing problems. Greg Coy joins us now from Plymouth Meeting with the story.
Yes, as a matter of fact, the Plymouth Meeting Mall behind me closed at 5 o'clock because of the storm. This area got up to 4 inches of snow, and now, as you can see, it is starting to rain. Rain, snow, sleet, enough of a wintry mix to turn the evening rush hour commute into a journey. No part of the evening commute home escaped the impact of the storm. It was no walk in the park, to use the sidewalks.
I just had to walk a couple blocks. It was just a little slippery. Not too bad for what I had to walk.
Evening rush hour commuters headed to the suburbs expected some kind of trouble.
I've been driving this all day, so I've been through different stages, but hopefully it won't ice up.
Traffic got either tied up on the Schuylkill Expressway or was slow going on all other major roadways. The only two noticeable colors were red taillights and white headlights.
Very slow, bumper-to-bumper traffic, kind of scary, but, you know, what can you expect in the winter?
Headaches, if you ask some local police departments.
Evening rush hour was an absolute mess. There was cars backed up the entire length of Germantown Pike. We had 2 traffic signals malfunction due to the ice. Had to put officers out there hand controlling the traffic.
Even with salt trucks at work, the road conditions double the usual time it took to get out of the city.
I was happy to get out of school and come and play.
Exhausted from the ride home, parents let their children play or do chores like shoveling the driveway.
Well, I look at it in 2 ways. 1, I'm just helping him out, and 2, I have to do it, so.
And he has to. And the police are saying if you don't have to go out on the roads tonight, stay at home. They say with this warm temperatures expected and the rain that's falling lightly on my brow, that most of this snow should melt away by tomorrow. Reporting live from Plymouth Township, I'm Greg Coy, Fox News. Hey, Rich, did you ever have to shovel the driveway at your house?
I did this morning, and I shoveled out the neighbors. What a nice guy, huh, Greg?
You are a... Hey, you forgot mine.
I know. Well, I'll get you next time. Thanks, Greg. Well, this wintry weather is probably to blame for 2 very big water main breaks in Philadelphia tonight. Right now, water is still pumping out of a break in South Philadelphia. It's happening on the 1700 block of South 28th. It looks like a river, and the water is running into people's homes. The water department is working to shut it down. 60 homes are without water right now. The water won't be back on until sometime tomorrow. It will be a long night on 28th Street. In North Philadelphia, this has been a day of snow and the sinkhole. Look at this. A big water main broke in the 2300 block of West Indiana. It caused a 25-foot wide, 12-foot deep sinkhole. The water department has been there all evening trying to get a handle on things. Water service should be back to normal shortly if it is not already.
Bad weather continues to cause other problems as well. It's been an especially tough day for air travelers. Despite all the snow at Philadelphia International, the airport's been up and running all day, but canceled and delayed flights from other cities are causing backups here in Philadelphia. Ice, not snow, is being blamed for the delays. U.S. Airways has already canceled a quarter of its flights for today and tomorrow.
Well, getting home by car was no easy task either. As Greg Coy told us a short moment ago, it was rather trying commute for thousands of people trying to get in and out of the city of Philadelphia and other cities in our region. Janet Zapala joins us now from Center City with more on the battle to get home. Janet?
Rich, it was a rough and tumble day outside at best today. Right now, we are outside the Fox Studios at 4th and Market Street, right here in Center City, as you say, where the temperature right now is hovering at 32 degrees, and we are getting some freezing rain, but Rob Guarino tells me that's all about to change because the temperature is rising and could be in the mid-50s by tomorrow morning. But right now, a very cold night. If you are venturing out, please drive with caution. Now let's take a look at the Metro Cam. You're looking to I-95 and Bridge Street, where traffic, what there is of it, is moving along quite nicely. A much different scene than the one earlier today when it was very tough going for drivers who were slipping and sliding, trying to make their way home without incident. The storm came as no surprise. It was the amount of snow that caught people off guard. PennDOT crews, though ready for a couple of hours of cleanup today, stayed out all day and into the night, salting and plowing.
We had 50 trucks on the interstate system in Philadelphia alone. PennDOT itself had 400 trucks out in the 5-county area.
It was slow going all day as commuters tried to maneuver themselves in slippery, slushy, wet conditions, both on the streets and the expressway.
So far tonight, it's touch and go.
Yeah.
Touch and go.
It was a little slurpy down the road, but kind of managed.
It's just that with the rush hour and the slippery conditions, it's a little bit bad, but it's not really all that bad.
In Collingswood, New Jersey, traffic moved more smoothly as the night wore on and the snow began to melt. At dusk, there was more white stuff on the windshield than in the road. The same held true for the Ben Franklin Bridge. And back in the city, many people walked from work to 30th Street.
Now I have to wait for a train, so hopefully it'll be on time.
Yeah.
Chances are it was. Officials at the train station say the weather had little effect on schedules. A slick rail or two held up service on a couple of trains, but only for a few minutes.
Now arriving on track number 3, Section 8.
The same story at Market East, where service also ran close to schedule. It seemed the people most bothered by the messy traffic conditions were behind the wheel.
I think I ought to be home.
Of course, if you had to get somewhere and you didn't want to wait for anyone or anything, this idea seemed to be a breeze. And it sure is good exercise, if nothing else. As you can see, the snow is pretty much gone. There's still some here, but the streets are pretty clear. As I said, though, there is some freezing rain coming down right now, about 32 degrees. So if you are venturing out, please drive with caution because it could be very precarious tonight. Live in Center City, Janet Zapala, Fox News. Jill, back to you.
All right, Janet, come inside where it's warm. Well, this winter storm pounded all different parts of Pennsylvania today. In Pittsburgh, for example, snow piled up on the roadways and the city school system canceled classes today. Most of western Pennsylvania is under a winter storm warning tonight. Freezing rain mixed with snow is making the roads very icy, and there doesn't seem to be much relief in sight. Snow showers are predicted all weekend in Pittsburgh. Residents of Ohio are once again bracing for a blast of Arctic weather. Snow fell over much of that state today, dropping up to 5 inches in some parts. Up to 10 inches of snow may fall by tomorrow in northern Ohio. Since last Saturday, at least 13 deaths have been blamed on the weather in the state. And the nation's capital became a winter wonderland today. Snow began falling in the metro area at about 5:30 this morning. Although plows were out clearing the roads, accidents did happen. Folks had to brave the snow and cold as they went about their daily business. And suburban school systems around the D.C. region were closed. Well, the snow, as Janet mentioned, is now over. So what's in store for the rest of the night?
Rob Garino joins us with first weather. Rob?
Well, right on the edge here in Philadelphia, temperature, as Janet mentioned, is 32 degrees, and it's going to start to go up. That's the good news south and east of the city. North and west, a different story here for the next few hours. Let's go right to Fox Doppler and show you the situation. Everything in green and yellow right there is rain. Everything in the pink, just about near the Philadelphia region, is freezing rain, and that blue pocket right there is some sleet mixed with freezing rain. As you see there, that green will gradually work up to the north overnight tonight, and we'll start to see the rain move into the entire region as we go into the wee hours of the morning. Snow totals. Who got the most? Let's check it out. We'll put it in motion for you there. Atlantic City, 2.5 inches. Mount Holly, Philadelphia, 3 officially at the airport. Bucks County, a general 3.5. Wilmington, 4. Williamstown, 4 inches. And Tabernacle, that's the call we got from Burlington County. That's the highest number we could find at 4.5 inches. All right, how did we do so far today? 34 degrees was the high, low 24. 0.3 of an inch of rain, and you make that into snow, and that becomes 3 inches. Rain and fog tomorrow morning, milder. Look at this, 45 degrees to start the day, but the fog will be a problem in the morning. We'll have more details, and guess what, folks? There may be another storm. Yes, another storm on the way. All the details are coming up. Back to you.
All right, Rob, thanks. There's about 1.5 feet of snow on the ground in Green Bay, Wisconsin, but people aren't talking about the roads on which they drive tonight. They are talking about a coach named Rhodes.
Bill Vargas joins us now with word on what might be a new job for Ray Rhodes.
Yeah, well, the coach named Rhodes himself hasn't said anything to confirm anything. We did talk to members of his family at his house earlier today. He was out, and they're not confirming anything. But Ray Rhodes' stay on the unemployment list may be a short one. Sources say that Ray could be going to Green Bay, and if so, Ray Rhodes would be returning to the place where he served as
Perry Como collection is not available in any store. Here's how to order. Call this toll-free number now for Perry Como. 2 cassettes, $19.98, 2 CDs, $26.98, plus $4.95 shipping. Call now. Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
You're looking at live pictures from Cleveland. A winter storm is making a mess on the roads tonight from the Great Lakes to the big cities of the Northeast. Hello, everyone. I'm Warren Madden. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Weather Center, sponsored by Toyota.
And I'm Jeff Morrow. The good news here is it's warming up in some areas, particularly along the immediate East Coast, so the ice and the snow won't be too much of a problem in those areas. We're also watching powerful, even severe thunderstorms in the south, and we'll have the Saturday forecast coming up. But first, tonight's wintry weather. Snow started falling in Boston in mid-afternoon, just in time for the drive home on this Friday. Some of you managed to get a little jogging in before the snow got too heavy. Temperatures had been stuck in the 20s, but it's now up to about freezing, at least at Logan Airport. So that precipitation is starting to go over to rain. In New York City, pretty much the same story. We had some snow around midday or so moving in, and anywhere between 2 inches at Central Park to 3 out at JFK Airport to as much as 4 inches out on Long Island. But that changed over to freezing rain and eventually to all rain again as some warmer air is slowly working its way in from the ocean. Here's some of the snowfall tallies, and there you can see Central Park at 2 inches. Providence got about 2 before it has gone over to freezing rain and is in the process of warming up there. Boston only about 1 inch at Logan. Baltimore 4 inches, and topping the list, Wolfsville, Maryland, which is west of the Baltimore vicinity. Don't have a real big organized storm system, one with a lot of isobars around it and a lot of wind. What we do have is a very broad southwesterly flow at all levels of the atmosphere, what we call a conveyor belt, if you will, of moisture, which is riding up and over all that cold Arctic air which has been in place anywhere from the Great Lakes right on through the Northeast. And we get what we call kind of a layer cake effect here as far as the ice and the snow is concerned. At least as you look at it on the map, we have the white, the orange, and the green being just plain old rain, and the orange being ice and a little bit of sleet, and then you get the snow, of course, with the white a bit farther on to the north. And that just depends on how deep this layer of cold Arctic air is. If it's shallow, then you get freezing rain. If it's a little bit deeper, you might get some sleet. And if it's deep all the way through, well, then the precipitation stays frozen all the way down and it falls as snow. And that's what's happening in the Adirondacks and on up into northern New England. and on back here toward Cleveland, Ohio, which we'll look at a little bit more closely in a moment. But you can see the temperatures are slowly coming up along the coast. 33 in Boston now, 33 in New York City, although as you head up toward White Plains and Westchester County, it's still slightly below freezing. 31 in Philly. It's been kind of playing around with the freezing mark there, and the cold air is still kind of stuck around D.C. and Baltimore, so we're still getting some freezing rain, so watch out for some very icy roads there. Places like Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, though, have warmed up above freezing. Earlier, that wasn't the case. Again, as the precipitation started, it came down as snow initially, and what a mess. You had several inches, about 2 to 3 inches accumulating, and you can see the problems that caused. Then it went over to freezing rain. Now it's gone over to all rain, so all that snow is turned to slush, but that slush could refreeze later tonight as temperatures are expected to go back down below freezing. So it's above freezing right now in Pittsburgh. Washington still slightly below freezing. Same deal in Philly, slightly above in New York. Definitely below freezing here in Pennsylvania and upstate New York, so still some snow and ice problems there. Still plenty cold for the frozen precipitation farther west, including Cincinnati and the Cleveland, Ohio area. In fact, we can go there right now and talk to Jim Cantori. Jim, it kind of looks pretty out there, but I guess it's not so pretty if you're driving.
No, it's definitely not pretty if you're driving. As a matter of fact, Jeff, let's go ahead and turn around here and look at Route 2. And you can just about count the cars out here tonight, and there's not many. That's the point. A lot of people are just staying in. This is the first dose of winter weather they've had for a long stretch here in Cleveland in a couple of years. And I'll tell you, the visibility is down less than a half a mile now as a result of this heavy snow that's coming in. These are big quarter-sized flakes, and these really, really cake on the roads very, very quickly. And you can just see how huge they are as they come on down. Jeff, very little wind. I mean, these things are coming straight on down. These are the ones when you were a kid, you just wanted to stick your tongue out and catch all that you could because you get these huge, big flakes coming on down. But a lot of people taking heed of the roads tonight, which are slippery, and they're definitely staying off the roads. And that's what we found here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame tonight. They had a big Elvis party going on in there, and a lot of people just didn't show up as a result of the weather, but I guess it was a success nonetheless. And that's what we caution you, folks. If you are heading out tonight, make sure you be careful. The roads are slippery, not only across the Cleveland metro area, but all across northern Ohio. If it snows like this for a good part of the night, we may very well be digging a hole to do a live shot by tomorrow morning because we could very well have some heavy snow. We'll come back at you in another half hour, Jeff, and tomorrow morning we'll see just how much we got. But right now it's coming down real heavy here in Cleveland with the temperatures in the low 20s and no wind at all. We got about 5 inches, and it's coming down. Back to you.
Jim, we used to call those atomic flakes, those big, big round flakes that had all that moisture content. Looks like you're going to be getting it for a while. All right,
we'll take it.
All right, let's go ahead. I don't think you have a choice. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at where Jim is up here around Cleveland. He's getting into one of these heavier snow bands. Farther south, it is rain, although it is starting to be freezing rain again around Cincinnati, but rain anywhere farther south from there. And Warren will be talking about the severe weather threat farther south. But Jim could pick up another 3, 4, 5 inches of snow, particularly if the lake effect kicks in as the winds come off the lake a bit later on tonight and tomorrow. But the heaviest snow up here in northern New England, where the cold air is deepest, and that's where it'll stay snow for the longest, maybe 6 to 12 inches. Now with a report on tonight's severe weather.
It felt so real.